Here I go again, trying to recreate something I did that I just loved, and trying to reproduce it, but watercolors never do the exact same thing. So just trying again to create this. I'm just washing in a little bit of color, not color, but water, which I will add color to. Maybe I'll put one right down here. Now I'm going to add the rose color. I'm putting it on pretty thick within the boundaries of those water splashes that I did. I'm just cupping the bottom of what's going to be the flower, I hope. All right, now I'm going to clean my brush. And it's a little wet, but not soaking. So now I'm going to pull this color up and get kind of that look, and hopefully it will continue to bleed up and give it a really splendid look. All right, I'm going to give it a little outline too, to kind of shape the flower. I don't know if that's going to work well, but we'll find out. Put a little color in here, very lightly. Now I'm going to get a little bit more water and keep pulling. Things are starting to dry out a little bit, and then you lose that kind of dreamy look. But I'm just going to keep going because I don't want these to dry completely and then lose that kind of ethereal looking. There. Oh, I think I'm kind of liking these. I'm just adding a little water to my brush, pulling it up. Oh yes, I think I like those. I might add a little bit more rose to some of these to give the image of we're looking inside of the flower. Loving it so far. A little bit more thick here. This bottom just a little bit more. It helps you tell where the point of origin in the flower is, in my not very humble opinion, but it's what it does for me anyway. Do whatever it does for you, kind of giving that curved look. And I don't know, I think I kind of like that, so I'm just going to get it wet, and again I'm going to pull the color up into the petals without much thought to it. Maybe out a little bit on the side. Looks like a petal might be coming from behind. And maybe a little bit more on this one. Also working now into getting that kind of the dreamy edge look. So now I'm just getting my brush wet, and I'm literally just kind of washing my brush around these flowers, leaving white space so that they can bleed a little bit, but not completely fill in. All right, there we go. I might add a little bit more rose though here. And I'm getting it about a little thick, but not too thick. Just again to give the impression of where these flowers begin. And maybe a little bit more paint. And the, you know, the lighter colors behind it can just look like shadows or a little bit of petals popping out from behind. I kind of like that. My cousin told me today that the poppies represent the veterans that have passed and that they sell them. She volunteers with the veterans, which I think is awesome. Okay. And then I think I might just drag this up a little bit more. So it doesn't take very long. There we go. Got my dreamy look to it. Just kind of fiddling, honestly. Just kind of softening these edges. Maybe just a little bit more color on this one. A little bit of lineage, indicating a petal without really defining it. I keep hoping that if I record these and I capture something, that I'll be able to recreate it, because I do things just like I say things and people go, oh, that I really liked what you said, could you repeat it? And then I go, I don't know, what did I say? So that happens frequently. Okay. And maybe just a little more right there. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm gonna wash it here with just some water again, so I can add. I really love this lemon yellow. It just brightens things up so much. Looks like the sun is shining. Just adding it in a few spots, and then I'll go blend it in. Now I'm gonna get my water, my brush watered again, and then that's gonna blend. It might actually create a little bit of orange, which would be really pretty. And I think I'm gonna leave some white in this background, kind of like I did the original one that I'm trying very hard to recreate. So far, no luck. A little bit more wash with yellow down here. And now I'm gonna add, let's see, I think I'll add some blue like I did the original. I've got some already here, just activating it with a little water. It's a darker blue, kind of an azure color. Just putting little dots so that it looks like there's some little bursts of flowers growing around here. Don't want them all together, because then it looks like, big bush. I just want people to see the thought of the flowers there. Maybe just a little bit right there. Okay, now I'm gonna add some greens. And I'm gonna go with sap green. I'm just getting it kind of very loose, wet with color. Might be mixing into another green, but that's okay. And I'm just gonna tap it around. Just give it some green, because of course that would be a natural look with flowers, right? A little bit more, maybe up here, maybe a little right here. And I will go back and not let those pool up like that, but maybe a little up here. I'm also going to be adding stems. All right, now I'm drying my brush off, and I'm just picking up the excess so it doesn't look like a big puddle. And you just dry off your brush and kind of dab it. It's not totally dry, just pat it on a paper towel. And now while it's still wet, I'm gonna go in, pick up some of my sap green, get my brush good and loaded, but also scraping the edges. And I'm just gonna have these fly up from the bottom. I seem to do better flying from the bottom than I do going down. And no particular directions. Poppies grow all sorts of ways. And now I'm just gonna add some. I didn't mean that to be so thick, but we'll make it match by adding a couple of other thick ones. And you do that just by pressing on your brush a little bit harder. Add a little bit of greenery around those little blue flowers. Just some little pressing on the brush while you're lifting a little bit, just to give them their own kind of organized look. And let's see, a little bit more water, a little bit more sap green, and maybe have some stems coming out here, out the sides. Yeah, I think I like it. Now I'm going to go in at the base of the flowers where the stem would join and just give it a join by just putting a dot wherever you think that stem would be joining the flower. And then you can pull it, and look at how it's blended in so nicely. And that's probably as close as I've come. The other thing I can do now that the paper's beginning to dry, I can go in and get some blue that's not so watery and just kind of add some more shape to these little flowers. And they'll bleed. They should. If they don't, that's okay too. These are all for fun and practice. Just adding some dots to help define these as flowers, not just little blobs. I also am not gonna splatter this because I think sometimes the splattering takes away from the picture, but it's up to you, it's yours. You do what works for you. I'm taking this pretty thick, just a little wet brush, and dragging the side of a dried lump of blue. Just use the colors you love and have fun. Yeah, I like that. Oh, loving this, loving. Maybe I'll do a little bit up here too, like it's shooting up. I'm just having so much fun with painting. COVID's been really difficult, but it has helped me with kind of getting back to being creative, and I'm loving it. Anyway, a little bit there, maybe a little here too. Hopefully I'm not getting too carried away here. And I'm also gonna go in and kind of wash those a little bit with some water. So they also have, I'm just touching them with a damp brush to let them bleed a little. And I think that might be the closest. It doesn't quite have the yellow I wanted, but it's darn close. Here's the original that I was trying to replicate. Tell me what you think. Maybe you like this one better. Maybe I do too.